Take me there.
Do it live.
Do it live.
Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Canesware today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to Canesware.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Canesware today.
It's back.
The green train is running. What, Bobby? You know, sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong.
All right.
Hey,
Hello,
Bobby.
everybody. Yes.
Hey, Bobby, let me interrupt you before you start up. Because I want you to know this. Sometimes you're right, but sometimes you're wrong.
That's right. And that's how we'll get it started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fids Talk today on the Fids Talk Sports Network. I'm Bobby Fids Talk, joined always by the one and only Fish Tank. Hank, he was off last week, but Fish Tank, we missed you. How the hell are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I had to get some MRIs and stuff like that, so it was pretty cool. You know, I went to get it, and then there was no authorization when I got there, so we just kind of – it was a snafu, so I got to go back again at the end of June. So things are great, though. Everything's great. Everything's cool.
Well, the Dolphins, you know, they said, hey, we got to get these guys some stuff. So they had plenty of movement this week, the Miami Dolphins. Of course, everyone is waiting for Tua's deal to get done. Of course, then Trevor Lawrence got his deal done.
Everybody?
Just about everybody. I'm sorry. Just about.
Someone said.
I know what you said. We talked about it last week. I did talk about it. Yes, you want to wait until the season. Let them play out the year.
No, I said they should sign him. I just think they're gonna wait.
Yeah, that you think they're gonna wait. That's right. All right, but that's the news we're waiting on, right? Or the most Dolphin fans. That's where the world is centered on. But Dolphins go ahead and go sign a safety in Marcus Maye. They bring in veteran safety, and then they go the other. I was talking to Evan Finstanza. Yeah. I was talking to Finstanza on the phone during the Panthers game. Panthers up 3-0, baby. They're going to win the championship tonight. They're going to get a clean sweep. I'm calling it now. But I was on the phone with him, and all of a sudden he goes, we're about to hang up. And he goes, do you want to do a live show right now? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm watching the game. He goes, Bobby, the Dolphins just signed Calais Campbell. Whoa. Of course, we didn't do a live show, but damn, this was a great signing. First off, so we got a lot to talk about, but Cat for Life, Evan's in the house, Lo-Fi, Ralph, Aladino, Cap, everyone tuning in right now. We appreciate you. Everyone watching wherever you're watching.
Cat for Life.
Thank you for tuning in. Oh, you got the double feed. I love it.
I did first. I had to bring up my screen and see everybody that's there. Everybody's there. Right.
What's up, Kenna?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, everyone tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We appreciate you watching. So much to talk about. And let's just get it right started. Let me adjust something here. We did this last week, Fish Tank.
I want to do an adjustment too. Hold on, I gotta adjust.
There you
go. I'm ready now.
So I did this last week, Fish Tank, and it got some good reviews. So I said, I'm going to do this with Fish Tank. I think this would be a lot of fun if we kind of did our show this way. And let me go ahead and put us here. And bam, we got the topics right there. We're going to go one by one here. And the first one is first. I mean, we had other discussions. We have an outline here. But we're going to start this off because this wasn't in the outline. But it's happened. It's fresh. You and I both have an opinion on it. The Miami Dolphins signed Calais Campbell They beef up the defensive line, bring in Calais Campbell from the Miami Hurricanes, played with the Falcons, with the Baltimore Ravens. Actually, was coached for 2 seasons with Anthony Weaver in Baltimore. The Dolphins signed him last season, Fish Tank, played 17 games, had 6.5 sacks, 32 solo tackles, and a forced fumble. I'll state what I feel about this move. I love it. I love it. You know, we lost Christian Wilkins, and that's a huge loss, and no one can replace what he was to the team, especially the heart. But, you know, Miami had Zach Steeler. We know what they have at edge rusher, but it was that middle spot. You're like, who's replacing Christian Wilkins? There was no one for sure we knew it was going to be a rotating situation. It still could be that. But I think by getting someone like Calais Campbell, a veteran, someone who's familiar with the Anthony Weaver defense, someone who is a productive veteran as well, not someone he's on the back end of his career. I think he's 37, 38 years old, but still productive player. I love this move by the Miami Dolphins. It's a smart move going into the season. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I mean, you know, like you said, the only concern is he's 37, 38, you know, but he's been consistent. And that's what Miami needs. Miami needs depth, and he also adds depth. You know, not only are we trying to fill the gap with Christian Wilkins being gone, he's great at run stop. I like his ability to stop the run. And I think it's an upgrade all around as far as the fact having him versus not having him. So I go with it. I like it. But he can play, you know. I like it. I mean, how do you not like it? Come on.
I will say what's crazy is that obviously we know that most people, I'll say most because not everybody, but most, I'm sure most say that the offensive line is still the primary need. The right guard position is something that most Dolphin fans are still concerned with. And that you would hope would have been the main signing, but Miami continues to beef up that defense. They drafted Chop Robinson, they drafted Mo Camara, you know, they continue, and what they brought in Jordan Brooks. Now they bring in Calais Campbell, obviously Marcus Maye, which we will discuss in just a moment. Ken is absolutely right. He is a rotation player, but he's a solid rotation player.
Hey, he's solid because he's available.
That's right. And let's say Finn's Faithful Pod, George in the house. Guys, if you love listening to some audio, Finn's Faithful, and maybe coming to streaming near you, go check out Finn's Faithful Pod on all your audio podcast platforms. 72 Undefeated loves the Campbell signing. Solid. That's the key word right there. Solid. Yeah. It's a solid signing. And that's something that the Dolphins have done this year, despite how you feel about the certain moves that they've been able to do. You know, you may not like the particular player or whatever. You could have said, oh, I could have gone with this deal or this deal or this guy or this guy. What Miami has done is they've gotten players who could make impacts. They don't have to be starters. They don't have to be elite, whatever. These guys are impact players. They're rotational players. If a guy comes out, this guy's going to come in and he's going to make a play, you know? That's why I think this signing kind of goes with the theme of what the Miami Dolphins offseason has been so far in regards of the draft, in regards of free agency. It's a solid signing. But he's aging. Absolutely. That's why he's a free agent. That's why he signed the deal that he did. He's 37 years old.
Rotational player.
Exactly. He's not your starter, Kenna. He's a rotational player, meaning he's going to come in and out. But 6.5 sacks last season. We still need young, impactful players. You're not going to get him at this point. You're not going to get a young, impactful player at this point unless one of your young guys that you drafted steps up, which we believe they will. But right now, you got a solid veteran in that defensive line, which you needed to pair with Zach Steeler.
We also have the opportunity to get some young folks in here as far as when teams make more cuts. When they continue to cut down and get down to the 53-man.
Yeah. Well, that's the famous, the infamous or the famous, whatever you want to call him. I call him infamous, but still I still respect some of the stuff he said through the years, and the acorns, Jeff Ireland, he said it. You wait for those acorns to fall after the preseason. Chad Pennington was an acorn. Chad Pennington was the quarterback for the Jets. The Dolphins were supposed to start with Josh McCown, Chad Henne as the backup that season. Fish Tank. Remember, we drafted Jake Long, and Chad Pennington was cut because they traded for Brett Favre. We signed Chad Pennington, cut Josh McCown, ended up winning the AFC East, and of course losing the wild card. But still, you wait for those falling acorns from other teams, and you don't know, there could be a young, impactful player. Absolutely understand, Kenna. That University of Miami relationship will benefit these young defensive guys. Absolutely, 100%, and help setting up the edge against the run. Yeah, I understand. I get it. Not every, there's things that's not going to be perfect about every player. He's too old. He's too young. He doesn't have enough experience. He has too much experience, whatever you want to throw in there, it's going to be. But I believe, and everyone has a right to opinion. I think Hank and I both agree to that. But my opinion is that I like this move. I think it's a solid move. And I'm excited what he's going to be able to bring to this Miami Dolphins defense.
I love it as a depth move too. I mean, just adding another body to that defensive line. They've already added quite a bit of depth after we had those issues last year. So I'm happy about it. Like I said, I can't see a downside right now to it. I just it looks like it's solid. Like he said, it's solid. That's exactly the word it is. It's solid.
Another position we have discussed. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins did not bring back Brandon Jones. They did not bring back Deshaun Elliott. They did sign Jordan Poyer. They tried to bring back Elliott. Did not work. They drafted a safety, but we all knew a third safety was needed, and Miami did that. They bring in Marcus Maye of the formerly of the New Orleans Saints. Last season, Fish Tank, 47 total tackles, had a sack, 2 interceptions. 0 touchdowns, obviously, but still 2 interceptions. So again, solid player. A lot of people could say, hey, I preferred someone better. He's not that great, but he doesn't need to be great. This was a solid piece that you add in your secondary. Again, another move that I can't really hate on. I think this is a solid move. He's not your starter, but he's your rotational player. He's your third safety. Javon Holland again. Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, Marcus Maye.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Depth.
What's up? That's the problem?
What we're talking about. We're talking about depth, Bobby, because we're putting depth across the board. They saw which direction it went. Yo, fins up, Faithful. Good to see you too, bro. But it's good, I like the signing. We needed depth at safety. They took care of, like Finn's Faithful just said, they took care of the best part, the worst part on the defense, the safety and depth at the defensive tackle or defensive line. I like it. I like both moves. And the thing is, he doesn't have flashy numbers. May doesn't. And that's okay, because when he's on this defense with those cornerbacks, it makes an impact. It's going to make a big impact. And you got Chop Robinson getting in there, rushing the quarterback. It's going to happen. You got Campbell in there as a rotational player. You got Sealer in there. It just goes on and on. I like it. I think the move is great. I think it just improves our depth and gives our guys a chance to rotate in and out, just like our defensive line. Greer and company learned their lesson. How's that? It doesn't happen too often, but look what happened last year and look what they did this year. Is it a knee-jerk reaction that they're getting so many people in now? But no. I think it's great. We're finally getting the depth that this team has been missing. Now, do we have that depth on the offensive line? No, we don't.
He's being a troll. He's being a troll. You know, Finstanza, classic Finstanza.
I see that. I can't do anything but laugh, man.
You know, but no. Oh yeah, but yeah. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I forgot where I was at. No, it's again, a solid. I'll just continue to grab on that word, a solid and a needed depth move we made. Junior,
clown.
You clown.
I love it. Look at this. Oh,
Vincenza, Junior.
They're all coming for him.
What are you doing?
He loves what he's doing. He's doing his job. That is his role at the FTSN Fitz Talk Sports Network. He's our network troll. We have the homers, we got the realists, we got the haters, we got the troll. That's what we got here.
Now don't troll him. Don't do that to him. Come on, man.
Oh man. All right. But yeah, again,
under the bus.
The Dolphins
moving on.
The Dolphins, like we said, offensive, we say, oh man, there could be a debate of what the biggest need was, but a lot of people would say was offensive line.
Yeah.
Continue to worry about that right guard position. You think about the center, even though we got Aaron Brewer, is he ready? Is he going to be an upgrade or not an upgrade compared to Connor Williams? He has a big shoes to fill because Connor Williams was a top 5 center after the snap. But we will see. But that right guard spot is the concern. Miami says, wait a minute, you're more worried about the offensive line than we are. We're going to beef up our defense, continuing with the new D coordinator, Anthony Weaver, bringing in Calais Campbell and Marcus Maye. 2, as you say, and should be the word, solid signings. They're not great players at this moment in their careers. It's not like, we're not overhyping them. I'm saying they're solid additions to this roster, to this Miami Dolphins defense. Now, everybody loves talking about the quarterback. It never ends. It never will. But we will talk about it.
Surprise!
Trevor Lawrence. We've all said, first off, Fish Tank, last week, I was doing the show. And
yes, sir.
Color commentary and Cap were so nice enough to join me for a few minutes, coming in through the audio, to discuss quarterback situation. And, basically the benchmark was Jared Goff at $53 million. Tua, I was watching, I believe Omar Kelly's show. I don't know if it was yesterday or whatever, but he had some of Tua's comments in regards to the deal. Somebody asked him, on if these quarterback deals, and referenced Jared Goff at $53 million a year, are they the benchmark for his deal? Does him and his representation basically look at those deals and say, hey, that's the starting point. We need to be in this area. And Tua's answer was, the market is the market. So yes, if that's the market, if Daniel Jones is getting this amount and Jared Goff is getting that amount, I'm in the ballpark. Says that confident will be done before training camp, but that is not in his control. Now we're talking Jared Goff. He got $53 million. All of a sudden now, Trevor Lawrence, who's not on his 5th-year option, still has 2 years left, signs a mega deal for 5 years, $275 million deal, $55 million a year. $200 million guaranteed. Okay. You and I have talked about this since before last week. We have, you're saying, hey, you can see the Dolphins waiting. They should get a deal done, but you can see them waiting it out for the year. I say, Tua, his representative, which kind of looks like, is like, no, we need to get a deal done now. Because business-wise it's like, why? And I was saying this last week. For Tua, it's yes, in a perfect world, in a perfect situation, for the organization more than the player, but a perfect world to be like, hey, you know what? You got one more year, play it out. Let's see if you could last the season being healthy. Let's see if you could win in December and win a playoff game, and then and then we'll give you the money you deserve. But then
No.
it's in a player's scenario, it's okay. Let's say they say yes. Week 8,
They get hurt.
8-3. God forbid Tua gets hurt. Let's say it's a terrible injury, another severe concussion, which players were paid. The NFL media and everybody were saying retire, and he gets injured again. God forbid. Now we're not paying you. No team's going to give you the amount you think you deserve, despite your numbers compared to the top players and the top quarterbacks in the NFL. So business-wise, Tua and his representation, no, we need to get paid now. So I'm going to ask you this. We discussed this, but I'm going to ask you this question. And, it's why do you think, because if Trevor Lawrence got this deal, and now that $55 million is probably the benchmark, not 53. And Evan's right. Evan has said before, and I agree with him, I'm more worried about the guaranteed money than I'm worried about the bigger amount. But why do you think, Fish Tank, not how you think it's a play out, but why do you think a deal's not done? Do you think it's a situation where Miami's like, hey, I know what the market is, but we're not going to go over this amount? Do you think Miami's playing hardball? Or do you think it's just the little details that they're not coming to agreement to? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense what you're saying. Absolutely. When I look at Tua, he's a unique individual in a unique situation to start with, okay? And I said it 2 weeks ago. It's how Miami does business. Everybody jumping on, oh, yeah, Tua's next to be signed. And I was like, no, because that's not how Miami does business. That's not how they do it. They wait and see if their players will perform or not on their final year with their rookies. They love to play them on it and wait to see what they do, whether or not they have to pay them. The problem for the Dolphins, if they wait till the end of the year with Tua, they're going to be paying over $60 million a year.
True.
So the Dolphins can either poop or get off the pot at this point in time. Because either way, when you take a crap, it stinks. And right now, they're crapping on Tua. They should just sign him, lock it in, and get on with it. You know what I mean? That's what should happen. But that's, again, like I said, that's not how Dolphins do business, unfortunately. That is not what Greer does. He plays those people out. And the reason he does play them out, because he wants to see that unknown be answered before he makes that commitment. And he tries to do that every time, it seems, with every player, especially the rookies. So I don't know. Notice he didn't jump in the game real quick to pay Tyreek Hill a bunch of money. I mean, he's not in a hurry. And who are the Miami Dolphins bidding against other than themselves? They don't. I mean, he's paid for this year, period. He's been paid already. Now, does he want it?
Okay.
Does he want a new contract? Absolutely. I see the points on why he needs to have a new contract. Is he outperforming? Is he not getting paid the same amount as everybody else? Well, the market is what the market is. And like you said, right now, the market's between $50 and $55 million a year for a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's the starter. That's what the money is. That's what they pay. So they're either paying him that or they're waiting until the end of the year. And if he outperforms what the Dolphins think they're going to do, then he's going to turn around and command more than $60 million easily. Because if he stays in this year and they go as far as I think they're going to go, they're going to owe him a lot of money.
Yeah, they are.
It could be $70 million if he goes far in the playoffs.
Well, and again, it's not even it's not even that too. It's about like I saw someone bring up Dak Prescott, which I don't know if Dak Prescott's going to say. Oh, I think it was capped $60 million a year. Jordan Love could get $60 million a year, and then that Tua's price only goes up from there. I believe, again, I do think this deal could get done before the season. again, I do believe that if he doesn't do it, if they don't agree to a deal, I could see his representation saying, Tua, you need to sit out. It is not business smart to play this season under your current contract. We're trying to get a big deal. Look at everyone around you. Look at your peers. Look at Trevor Lawrence, whose numbers don't match, and he's 2 years behind you. You got Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. You got all these other guys here.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff and you are right neck and neck in regards of numbers. In regards of last season, I think they were 1 and 2, and Jared Goff got his big contract for $53 million a year. They're not giving that.
I'll play Dolphins devil's advocate then. Okay,
that's fine.
Sure.
What I'm saying is,
but they weren't injured like you. They didn't have a hip injury that cost you your first year
and
of
I'm not
playing,
disagreeing.
basically.
Yeah.
Then concussions, and we're supposed to just jump out and pay you and hope that doesn't happen. I understand that.
Absolutely, it's we could play. We understand that. Right? Like, and I think everyone understands, like, in a perfect world, if you're not if you don't have these injury concerns, this is a different story because, again, you could say, you know what? Yeah, you have not won in December. You've struggled in December. You played one playoff game and you lost. After it seems like there's 8 wins, 8-3. Once you hit that 8-3 mark 2 years in a row, all of a sudden there's a struggle. That could be excused because you go, you know what? You're 5 years in. There are quarterbacks and players. John Elway, not comparing the two players, but John Elway did not win a Super Bowl until the 2 final years of his career. Just saying, not comparing the two players. Obviously, John Elway was winning playoff games before then. But what I'm saying is that sometimes, we could say, okay, you know what? Maybe year 6, 7, 8, you start winning playoff games, whatever. Injuries. Last year was the first year we weren't injured, that you didn't have a major injury. Who says it won't happen next year? So the Dolphins, let's say, going by your argument, they're saying, hey, look, man, we love you, despite going after Tom Brady, despite wanting Deshaun Watson, in spite of wanting this guy and this guy and this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's more, Greer and Ross, because McDaniel came after that fact. But in spite of that, we love you, man. We want you to be our quarterback. But, and Tua saying, okay, well, if you love me, pay me. But here's the thing. We love you, but we don't know if you're going to be here. Why are we going to pay you all this money if you get injured? And then we're paying you for half a season every year. Can't do it. Now you run the risk, though. You run the risk, Fish Tank, of Tua saying, you know what? Fine. Then I'm not going to start. I'm not going to play this year. I'm going to hold out until you're ready to pay me. And then Mike White's going to be your starting quarterback. Now, all these high expectations, Fish Tank, 11 wins, 12 wins, those drop significantly if Tua is not your starting quarterback. That should say enough. And I'm not. I see people, arguing about Tua on X and all this stuff, and it's so stupid. It's like talking pop. It's so dumb. It's like, guys, can't we just be fans? Like, I understand you could love, you could hate, you could say he's not the guy, whatever. But it's always some little thing. Everyone knows where I stand. I think I'm pretty fair. I will praise. I will say when he struggles, whatever. But I think, he's done enough. He's been in that stratosphere with his peers. So he's in that bracket of what he should be paid. But you're right. To me, it's not about the play at this point. It's about the injuries. I think the Dolphins they did set a benchmark themselves. We're willing to pay you this much in spite of the market. The market might adjust it a little bit, Tua. But the fact is, you saw what we did with Christian Wilkins. You saw what we did with X. Good riddance, right? This what you've heard on X, but still, you saw what we did. We held firm. We're willing to lose good players if they don't meet our price. And maybe that's what the Dolphins are doing. And is it the right way to go? I don't know. That depends on the person who's thinking about it at that time. But you're willing to, are you, let's ask, since you're playing the advocate, are you willing to risk to saying, you know what? You're not going to pay me. I'm on one more year. I want that big contract at the end of the year. And yes, 32 teams. One team will pay to a 60, 50 plus million. I won't say 60. It's up. One team will. That's just what it is. That's what the NFL is. But
there'll be one team that
will do it.
We'll pay him.
And that's what I'm saying. One team will do it.
There'll be more than one team with
100%. I know, yes. But what I'm saying is We know because somebody, I saw in the kind. Forgive me, guys. I'm talking with.
Well, hold on. Let me do a
Go ahead.
little devil's advocate here, real quick, Bobbies. Slow down on me here a minute, all right? It can be performance based because when the game's counted, Tua hasn't come through. Okay, when it was time for him to step up in his rookie year, he wasn't able to do it because of injuries, but he still wasn't able to do it. We've put all this around you, Tua, for the past 3 years, and you still aren't getting it done. I'm playing the Dolphins. We put all this talent around you. For the past 3 years, you've had to tune it up and tune it out, and all we've done is lose one playoff game? No. This goes by, you want to get paid more. That's understandable, but your more might not be as much as somebody else's more. So our more is this amount. And I think that's kind of where they're at right now, is they're kind of doing that right now. I think it's just a matter of, you had asked me whether it was small stuff or whether it was big stuff. I think it's small stuff combined with an amount. I think it's just little stuff with something of variance of $5 million probably that the Dolphins don't want to play because the Dolphins try to shortchange everybody. They might be telling him $47 million or something, before these other tags came out. These other price tags came out. So I believe that he could command the money. It's just, do the Dolphins believe in him in the future? That's what they're debating in themselves, in my opinion. They're debating, do they really need Tua in a year or two from now? Do they need him? Do they want to pay him for that continued employment or not? Well, for me, if I was the owner, I'd take a look at everything with Tua, and I would weigh heavily in the decision to keep him. And I'll tell you why. You keep him because in the end, it's either going to cost you more, somebody else is going to come and get him. You need him a minimum for the next 2 years. You don't have that killer quarterback coming out next year. Your team is built to win now.
Yes.
You better get him paid and get it done. That's what I would have said as the owner. But like I said, you're dealing with Greer, and Greer lets his players play it out. And I just, you need him for the next 2 years. You don't have any real bulls coming out next year that you would want to, get late in the later rounds. You know what I mean? To try to replace Tua the following year. You wouldn't want to do that. So, but there's a lot of quarterbacks where their contracts might be ending that might want to come to Miami that are veterans. So, their scouts and everybody else is weighing this out right now. And a big part of what they're weighing out is, who can we get without Tua? Who can we get? And I haven't really looked into that. So I'm not going to sit here and phony it up like I've looked into that. I haven't looked into that. And it just makes me wonder, though, in my opinion, I think that they're waiting for everything to come out, see where everything lies. But I think they both have a number. They haven't quite met that number because the Dolphins always try to cheap out. It's not the owner. It's the staff. Because the owner will pay whatever. We've seen that over and over. Yes, Bobby?
Yeah, he wants to win.
He opens his checkbook, is my point. So it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of, will they keep him long term? And they're trying to make a decision right now in the middle of building everything and trying to get enough staff on board as far as players go for depth, which we've seen them go crazy on depth. I love it. I think we're in a much better position than we were last year. Even though we're missing Hunt, we're still in a better position than we were last year. So, do you sign this quarterback? Yes. Sign him. Get it done. Pay him $50 million. Be done with it. Move on. I'm sure he's not trying to set the market, is my point.
Yeah.
I think it's the Dolphins being nitpicky over a few $1 million and some wording in the contract, I'm sure, because they're going to put something in there to protect themselves. But did they overdo it, Bobby? Did they overdo that stuff in the contract? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They get a little extreme with the incentives and like, oh, you have to play this amount of games. You can't get hurt here. You gotta, I get what you're saying. And you might be right. And again, I think it is the numbers. I think Miami set benchmarks and say, hey, man, I understand where the market is. And maybe they go up a little by little, depending on what player is next. Trevor Lawrence now setting it a little higher. Now, of course, 55, I think was where Tua was at anyway. I think it's the guaranteed. I think the guaranteed is where it's the hanging point. Because I've seen it.
It's the guaranteed.
I think it's the guaranteed. I think they know 55 million is where the 53 to 55 million is the conversation piece. I think that is where it is. Now I think, incentives, whatever, all that, whatnot. And I think Tua might say, okay, you know what? And Tua has shown every year, despite what people may think about him as the franchise quarterback, he has shown every year that he works on things to get better. This season is being more athletic. He's lost the weight. He's planning on trying to be, now again, the reason why he got a little thicker last year and did jiu-jitsu was so he avoided injury concerns and concussions. Yeah. Now we saw how that affected his game. People are like, man, he was more athletic. Now he loses the weight. Well, it's like, oh my goodness. So, but every year he puts in the work. Okay. But I believe I think the 55 million is that's the market. Tua's right. The market is the market. If Jared Goff is getting 53 and Tua and Jared Goff are 1-2 in regards of numbers, right? And then you look at his peers, Justin Herbert, who's drafted a pick after him. Joe Burrow was picked at the first overall pick. You got possibly Jordan Love, who was picked later on. They're saying 60 million. If they're saying, which would be crazy, but if they're saying that by basic numbers, and you're seeing it, that's the market. Yeah. You can love him. You could hate him. You could think he's the franchise. You could think he's mediocre. You could think whatever he wants based on his job performance, stat-wise. Okay? Stat-wise. And we know what matters is wins and whatever. It's that's what I care about. I care about the playoff one because it doesn't matter what your numbers are at the end of the day. You could throw for 5,500 yards, 55 touchdowns, 2 picks. But if you throw those 2 picks in week 17 and then you lay an egg in the wild card of the division game, it ain't going to mean a damn thing. You got to win when it matters. But if Jared Goff, and I like Jared Goff, I'm not trying to crap on him, but if Jared Goff is getting 53, Daniel Jones got 40 whatever, okay? Trevor Lawrence got 55. There's no discussion about what Tua's going to make a year. It's the guaranteed. I believe it's a guaranteed. The Dolphins may go, hey, okay, look, man, we're going to give you 2 whatever, 5-year deal, 200 and something, 55 million a year. Oh, damn, that's cool. But only 100 million guaranteed. What? 100 million? Trevor Lawrence got 200 million. Yeah, well, that could be the hang up. But again, my thing is this, and he doesn't need to throw for 30 plus touchdowns. Again, it's the winning. And then also, again, you have all these other weapons that you could allude to. However, what I'm saying is that
he's accurate.
He's accurate.
And that's the biggest thing you want from your quarterback is accuracy. And I can tell you right now, the man is accurate, folks.
We got a quarterback coming back. Lo-fi, we got a quarterback coming back after year 5. Yeah. Okay. Who was again, statistical wise, one of the number 1 quarterbacks in football. Okay. Yeah. What the headline is not, he lost weight. It's the year before he gained muscle mass. People are saying, he looks kind of thick. He did that because people were complaining he gets hurt. He did it. He didn't get hurt last year. Now it's, man, he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't athletic enough.
You know why he lost weight? People don't even know why he lost weight. He lost weight so that he can do more rollout plays and have more time.
That's what we're saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. But every year, I mean, again, Hank, again, you could be like, man, I appreciate his work ethic. I appreciate the work he puts in, his commitment to this football team, despite being dangled out there with a coach who didn't want him and Brian Flores. Besides, the Dolphins trying to get Tom Brady like they did Tony Sperano with Jim Harbaugh, and trying to get Deshaun Watson, even though they had a quarterback. This guy was drafted. As soon as he was drafted, they didn't want him, and that's on Grin. That's whatever. As soon as they got, he went through all that, but he stayed committed to his team. They bring in Mike McDaniel. He puts in 2 solid years behind McDaniel. He's in an MVP conversation until week 8. But I mean, again, it was 8-3, whatever I want to call it. Yeah, then there's a drop off. Again, that's a team game. However, he does struggle. He makes some mental lapses. He's in his 5th year, 2nd year under a head coach that's been good to him. 2nd year under an offensive system, but his numbers have been up there. And his numbers say he should be paid that $55 million a year. I believe the thing is the guaranteed. I believe they are doing what they did to Christian Wilkins. They're doing the Tua. This is the number. This is where we're comfortable at. Let's move forward. Tua saying, no, especially his representation. No, I need this guaranteed. Or, are you willing to risk me not playing at the start of the season? No matter how you feel about Tua, and I'm talking to everybody, if Tua's not your starting quarterback, you could shoe in this season. You could say, okay, we're not going to win, because Tua's a big part of that. Despite how you feel about him, he's a big part of why the Dolphins are the number 1 offense in football. Okay, and why they went to the playoffs last year. He has to win a playoff game. They all do. Tyreek did not play well in that during December, and did not play very good in that playoff game. No Dolphin did.
No,
but yes,
none of them
did. As Hank has famously said, it starts and ends with the quarterback. I get it,
but you know what?
In that ballpark.
You know what else? Now that I was sitting here thinking, I was like, what else could be holding this up? It might be the years in the contract. See, they might be trying to do a 3-year type extension and set themselves up for where they would have a available quarterback, is my point. Like a Manning or somebody like that.
They could.
If they sit there and look at their cards right now, they extend him to where they see the talent that's currently in the rack. And all they have to do is set it up.
I'm not disagreeing with this at all, too. But I would say I would change he to Miami sucks against good teams. That's Miami's hill to climb.
The whole
again, Tua is on the team, right? We're not going to argue that. But, we're not going to argue that Tua struggled against good teams. But the Dolphins struggled against good teams. I don't know what games where we lost against those great teams where we said
it was just Tua.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that was it. So I'm not arguing with you, undefeated, but I would change he to Miami sucked against good teams. Yeah. Let me read Cap.
How about the fact that has he ever thrown for 5 interceptions in a game? Has he ever thrown for 4 interceptions in a game?
Oh, I'm sure they'll pull that up. I don't have that in front of me.
I'm asking the folks out there. Do you folks know?
29 touchdowns, 20 turnovers, equals 14 interceptions and 6 lost fumbles. Sam Howell was sacked 65 times in Washington. Sam Howell was leading the league in passing yards. There's Raphael with the numbers, 20 turnovers from 72 undefeated. It's a discussion. Now, again, guys, let me ask you this. Undefeated, Raphael, Cap, I don't know if we talked about this last week, maybe not, but I'm sure you've said this before. Well, let me ask this question for them, and then you could make your point. I just want to know, does the numbers matter? Is it just about we just don't want Tua as the quarterback? That's my question for the comments right now. And that's fair. Whatever you say. It's like, man, Bobby, you know what, man? Even if we gave him $150 million a year for 5 years and $100 million guaranteed, which would be an unbelievable, way under market contract, no one should argue against. It's not about the contract, Bobby. It's about Tua. We don't want him as our quarterback. So the ones who are arguing against and saying what they're saying right now, and it doesn't matter. You believe whatever you want to believe. I just want to know, so I know what's going on here. Doesn't matter. What is it? Is the deal not more about the contract, but we just don't want him as the quarterback? Is that what's the deal there? Go ahead, Fishnick. I'm sorry.
I forgot.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out because I'll forget too. I just want to.
And that's what I was trying to do. I was like, I'm gonna forget.
If it was about stats, go ahead.
You know, we sit here and Monday morning quarterback this whole thing, and right now it comes down to what kind of deal is Miami offering, and what is Tua's camp saying no to. You know what I mean? And I think it's some of those things that I've mentioned. I've mentioned about 3 of them. And I think it really comes down to that. And I in those important games, that's what I want to say. In those important games, how many turnovers did Tua have? Those important games that we lost, that it's Tua's fault. How many times did he turn the ball over? Now, if it was 3 or more, you might be able to blame Tua, to be honest with you. If it was 3 or more, you might be able to blame him in one of those games to some extent. You know what I mean? Because 3 to 4 turnovers by a quarterback is going to kill a game. I don't care who you are. It's going to put you at a very big deficit at some point in time in that game, to say the least. Now, how many of those games, and the reason why I'm asking this, folks, is because everybody keeps saying it's Tua. And the other part is Tua can throw the ball 40 yards, folks, with ease. He could throw that ball 40 yards with ease, okay? We have wide receivers that are big on yak. And they go after that yak, especially Tyreek Hill. Look at his yak yards. It's off the charts. So Tua doesn't need to throw a 60-yard bomb. I mean, how many times are people throwing a 60-yard bomb to begin with? If they are, there's something wrong. Either that or somebody just totally blew coverage on somebody like Tyreek Hill and he's wide open 60 yards down the field. Which, if Tua throws the ball as hard as he can, he's going to outthrow the defensive player anyway. So it doesn't matter. But he's not throwing the ball that far. He's usually throwing it between 40 yards and under. That's what most quarterbacks throw. 40 yards and under, folks. You tell me which play Tua cannot throw in 40 yards and under, because he can, and he does consistently. I'm not a Tua bandwagoner, but take a look. You know, it's not like you sit there and say, oh, because of this, don't pay him anything. Well, you have one of the better statistical quarterbacks in the NFL right now who's going to sit there and shove it in your face. And when they shove it in your face, they're going to sit there and want their money. Whether you like Tua or not, he outplays some of the players that are currently earning the same exact money. So take the name out of it and just the quarterback that performs at that. Take Tua's injuries out of it. Now you have no excuse after that. Once you take the injuries out, there's no more excuse because he's performed for the money. He should get the bag.
That right there is exactly what you said. Because again, I see all the comment, and they're not going to argue with any of them. Okay, this is right.
No, I'm not arguing with anybody.
Right?
I'm just
and right here, I would say again, undefeated is coming in with great points, but I will say again, when undefeated is 3-game lead in division and lost it. That is a Miami Dolphins problem. That doesn't stop at Tua. That is a Dolphins team issue. Dolphins team. It's the most frustrating damn part of being a Dolphin fan. You were up 3 games on the division and you lost it. It's ridiculous. But we'll see.
I got you, Cap. Thank you. I appreciate you throwing those numbers up there.
Yeah, again, I understand people's point. I mean, I understand their point. But I think what you said is right. This played up to the numbers. It's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm doing. 5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay, how many games was that? That was a 3-game leading division and lost it. Yes, they all did. Yes, the defense gave up the points. You're right, 72. The defense did give up the points. Tua didn't give up the points.
All right.
Your work.
Who's next? So, Hank, are you still on the train or are you still on the thought that Tua's not next on the next big move? Do you think that Miami say, no, they're waiting like Christian Wilkins?
I said it 2 weeks ago. I'll say it again. I think they should sign him. But is that what Chris Grier does? No. What Chris Grier's doing now is he's building depth, and he's not worrying about the whole Tua thing. I think he's pushed it aside for right now. And I think they're going to do something no later than preseason is what I would predict. If they're smart and they look around, you're not going to get a better quarterback for the price. And I know that he's not asking to reset the market. I really don't think he's looking to reset the market. And you sign him to a 3 or 4 year contract. You have nobody else you're bringing in anyway. You have no rookies to sign that are better than Tua that are coming up in the draft. So to me, it's simple. Sign the kid. But
so I will say, saying like, let's wait it out, which again, in a perfect world, you would. Let's wait it out, see how everything plays out, and then give him his money and whatever it is. And, I know for some people, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. And I agree. Again, you could have a great thing, but if you're not winning when it matters, it doesn't matter. But
exactly.
If, just let's say Miami said, you know what, let's wait it out. And let's say the number kind of goes way overboard and Dolphins like, ooh, or, let's say Tua gets hurt and he doesn't get his number and Dolphins don't sign him. What are you left with? Because I'm not a fan of this question when people do this, when we're discussing it, or if and when should we get another guy or whatever. But it is an obvious question here. It's like, okay, if we don't have Tua, who's the answer? Who's the guy you go get? Whether it's a rookie next season or whatever, who's that rookie? We don't know how that plays out. But we do know what the possible market may look at quarterback next season in free agency. Dak Prescott, Cowboys are weighing the arguments. Should we not? Should we move on? They're kind of having the same kind of conversation we are about Dak Prescott and Tua Tagovailoa. Same type of conversation going on with Dak Prescott. Would we feel better with Dak being the quarterback in Miami? Jordan Love's going to sign an extension in Green Bay. He's a free agent possibly, but he's going to sign an extension. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Heineke, Mariota, Jarrett Stidham, Drew Lock, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Carson Wentz, Jimmy G. Any of those names, and if they do, fair. Any of those names would you rather have over Tua? I could read them off again, guys. Is there any name on there that goes, you know what? Damn.
Read them off again.
I'll read them off again. Okay. Not Jordan Love, Dak Prescott. We don't know. No, I'm not talking those two. Sam Darnold.
No.
Zach Wilson.
No.
Trey Lance. Jacoby Brissett.
No.
Tyler Heineke. Marcus Mariota. Jarrett Stidham. Drew Lock. Andy Dalton. Joe Flacco. Justin Fields.
Nope.
Mike White. Jameis Winston. Matt Jones. Carson Wentz. Case Keenum. Jimmy G.
Well, somebody on here said they would trade for Mac Jones. Let's see. Lo-Fi said they would trade for Mac Jones.
Trade for Mac Jones right now? I didn't see that. I trade for Mac Jones who wants to hold out. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I'll see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, but he just got traded to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was smart enough to go get a guy who could be – but no, hey, as a backup?
As a backup.
Because I'm not comfortable – everybody's talking to – I'm not comfortable with our backup situation. But,
yeah.
So 72 says Fields. Okay. Lo-Fi, Mac Jones or Dak Prescott. Andy Dalton better than Tua, Raphael says. Derek Carr. I didn't see Derek Carr on there, but okay. And you know what? Everyone has a right to their opinion. Everyone does.
Yeah. But we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with the reality of they're either going to pay this man or they're not.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But everybody's saying, oh, well, let's wait it out. Well, here's the risk of waiting it out. You don't get him next year. He said, you know what? I'm not going to sign. Now, of course, then Miami could tag him, right? They could tag him. But then now you're going to pay market value because that's how the franchise tag works. So, do you want to do it? If you're arguing against it now, you're going to have to do it later. Is there anybody? I see what some people are saying on here. I don't see anyone on here that now, if worst case scenario, Miami leaves, if he leaves, then
Tanny would be great as a backup to Tua. Tanny would be great as a backup to Tua.
Oh, Tannehill? For sure.
Yeah.
I'm 100% down with that. You bring in Ryan Tannehill as his backup? 100%.
I would love to see them bring him in and get
rid
of White.
But I'm down with that. Bobby and Hank, defensive tackles that we have on our roster. Who do you think is going to benefit the most from a mentorship with Calais Campbell?
Oh, that's
I don't know about defensive tackles, but again, you got Mo Camara and Chop Robinson. Those guys are going to benefit them.
Chop's going to benefit a lot. He's now got Campbell, Sealer, Chubb, and Phillips.
Yeah.
With those four helping that kid out, I see him going nuts. I see him going crazy. He's going to benefit from all of them.
Absolutely. Let me see here. Let me go ahead, and I think Patrick Paul Fish Tank. Let's see. I think Patrick Paul benefits the most from Calais. Think about it. It's true that Scotty.
Yeah,
that is right on. That's right on because we're thinking about what he can do for his peers, which we think, but that Definitely. Right there for a rookie left tackle who's still raw, who's still a project, to go against what might be a future Hall of Famer and one of the better veterans in the NFL, to teach him, hey, don't do this when I'm coming at you. Do this.
Yeah,
right up for Scotty.
Spot on there, Scotty.
Fish tank, bear with me for just a second. I'll pop right back out. I'm gonna come out and grab something. I'll be right back.
Take off.
You talk. Boop. Talk.
So, folks, hopefully, we're gonna get him signed. If I was betting my money to say when they're gonna sign Tua or if they're gonna sign Tua, I would definitely say it's gonna be before preseason starts. If I was a gambling man, which I am, went to Hard Rock and lost some money. I also went to Hard Rock and I won some money the other day. So that was nice for a change. But no, we got to look at Tua. Calais Campbell, he is a beast, Scotty, and working with him against that young rookie, I like that. I like that a lot. That is a great point. And back to you, Bobby.
Well, I want to say this. First off, we're at the hour.
Because we're at the top of the hour, so I didn't know if you had something else. So that's why.
Well, I got one more thing. I do have one more thing. And let me bring us back to our normal setup here.
Right on.
Just about. And I want to, again, I talked about this last week. We all know, Caneswear, the promo plays at the beginning of the show. First off, the Florida Panthers up 3-0 on the Edmonton Oilers.
I got to get me a Panthers jersey.
I just got one sent to me from my madre down there, so I'm excited. Well, that's what she said. It's on your front porch. I was like, oh crap, I gotta get it. So I grabbed it. I brought it in.
Just
so I'm
saying that so you would send me one, Bobby.
Oh, my bad. Anyway, but Panthers up 3-0. I mean, it's been a great series. Me and my son are really enjoying it. I never thought I would be as hyped as I have been for hockey. It is crazy. But again, Panthers play tonight. I want a clean sweep. I don't want the gentleman's sweep. I don't want 4-1. I know, win it in Florida. No, win it now. Get it done. Anyway, Panther fans, Dolphin fans, Hurricane fans, Marlins, Heat, Caneswear is the place to be to get your stuff. If you want to go to see the Florida Panthers, you want to represent possibly the new Stanley Cup champions that could be done tonight, go to Caneswear in Davie, Florida. Go get their gear. They got amazing prices, amazing stuff. They're awesome, as you saw at the beginning of the show. Greatest show on surf for Miami Dolphin fans. We know with Tua at the helm, or even without, the Dolphins for sure last season and this season are the greatest show on surf. All right. The Dolphins are going to be an exciting football team this year, no matter how we feel about Tua in the contract situation with Tyreek, Waddle, Achin, now Jalen Wright. We got, of course, Raheem Mostert, and even that defense, as Kappa said, it's stacked. I said this, I brought this up last week. I want to bring it up again. I want to show you guys the greatest show on surf and show you the gear that they have on there. This is an online store, guys, and they're great people over there. They're very excited. Let me pull this up here, Fish Tank.
So if I was to go and try to find a Panthers jersey, would they have it?
Caneswear would. I believe Caneswear does have jerseys, yes. But greatest show on surf for Dolphins gear, Fish Tank. Let's take a look at some of this stuff here. And guys, again, if you see anything you love here, that you like, you go to the greatest show on surf.shop right now today. Use code FINSTALK and you would get 15% off on any and all of this. Okay?
That was my next question. How do I get a discount?
Use the code FINSTALK at the checkout. So we pull up right here, Fish Tank. Again, one of my favorite ones.
I like
here.
the white. I like the white because.
Let me pull this down here. This is better because it's a little bigger. But first off, Big D energy, Big Dolphin energy. I love this shirt, Fish Tank. That is so fun for me. Big D energy, BDE. Then this one right here is the bobblehead shirt. That's the greatest show on surf. Look at this. Let me pull this up here. Get a bigger shot of this here. So, we got babies. Oh, that's doesn't help. That's not what we want.
You don't want the babies?
That's okay. I don't want the babies, but I'm just saying I wanted to get a close up of the shirt. But anyway, I love the bobblehead collection. I wonder if I click on the other link on top if we'll get a closer look of that, because it has Tua, has Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, Coach McDaniel. Let's see here.
Yeah, Bobby.
Here we go.
When you go looking at the bobbleheads, I don't like hoodies. I like T-shirts.
I know, but I'm giving you a closer look a little bit.
Well, hold on. If I don't give you the information, how the hell are you going to buy me a shirt?
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
Now I usually wear an extra large.
You're such a smart.
I like the bobblehead ones, but being I'm in Florida, I usually wear a white shirt. Bobby.
White shirt. They have it in white. They have it in heather. They got it in black. They got it in orange, I believe. They have all different types of colors. Any color that you would like, as you kind of see if I hover over. Yeah, this was like, here's another one. See, I would prefer, I don't mind, but I would prefer that gray over that black. I love the gray look sweater to compare it.
Oh, you like that? What's it? Heather gray, it's called, or something.
Heather gray is really nice. I like that. Here's a cool one with Tua on it. I think this one fits you, Fish Tank. Of course, black probably won't be the color. Let's see.
Black's not the color.
Let's go with white here. Let's see if they give me some white. So here's a white one.
Ooh.
See, that's a pretty one right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty specific.
I know you are. Here's another one of Tua. You got Jalen. You got Jalen Ramsey. There's another one that I really like. That's 305. If I could pull.
You know what I did do, though? I went out. I haven't gone on to these sites yet, but I need to because I need T-shirts for one thing. The other thing is, though, I went out and bought 6 new outfits for the year. And notice I call them outfits, not outfits. And that's because when people look at me, they go, wow, man. He must just be going, ouch, because he's so dang good looking in that outfit that he's got. Oh, wait a minute. It's an ouch fit. Yeah, it's an ouch fit because it's hot. It's sizzling. So, or fire or whatever you call it. But I call it an ouch fit. And I'm ready for the season. I want things to start. I'm excited. We're renting a house down there for the first 2 games.
Yes.
It's going to be a big party the first 2 games. I hope I see people. I believe I'm in the southeast corner. Swing on by. I'll be partying. Come and find me. Another thing I might do on Twitter, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Is I might give away some preseason tickets if people are listening right now.
Nice. There you go.
I don't know if I'm going to go down to the preseason games this year because I have some things I need to take care of. So
yes, sir. So
I'm
guys,
probably-
follow at Fins to Win on Twitter and see
Mhm.
if he when and if he posts those details to see if you get some cool preseason tickets to cut your Miami Dolphins this year.
Yeah.
And this one here in the middle, Hank, I like a lot too. This kind of screams you and Kelly right here. You see the Dolphins, the kind of
that's
hippie
us
look
for
with
sure.
I love that one. This one always
Yeah.
makes me laugh, but I think this is such a catchy one here. Big BDE, big Dolphin energy. The
You know
skull
what
one
they
I like.
needed? I like the smiley face. I wish they would have had a little crooked mouth on it though.
I like it. I like it. Man, the team over at Greatest Show on Surf, they are diehard Miami Dolphin fans.
Yeah,
they are
and you
working on
can
new
see
stuff.
it in their shirts, Bobby. You can see it
Yeah.
in the shirt.
They got new stuff. Here's one that's kind of dedicated to they look like that Beetle look on Abbey Road. You got
Yeah.
Daniel, Tua, Waddle, and Hill. They got great stuff, guys. So if you love the Miami Dolphins and you're a fan of the number one offense in football, the Greatest Show on Surf, and you want to turn heads, no matter if you're at Hard Rock or you're out and about shopping, wherever you may be in whatever state you may reside in, go to the Greatest Show on Surf.shop right now today. You get what you want to grab. They got great merchandise there. They got a great team. They got new stuff. So check in all the time. Use code FINSTALK and you will get 15% off. They got an awesome gear there. And again, I'll show this more next week as well if they got anything new. But I thought I want to share that with you guys today.
Hey,
all right.
You know what? Cap for Life just reminded me that he was one of the winners that won a hoodie from me. And he said he's been wearing it.
There you go.
And he said, thank you. And you're more than welcome. You are more than welcome, Cap. No worries. I enjoyed getting people stuff. And, with my preseason tickets comes an orange parking pass. And those are like gold. People are paying hundreds of dollars for those. So just getting that.
Utah Fins fan, they do. Hank has one. A dry fit. Does the Greatest Show on Surf have a dry fit shirt? Is it the one that you have a dry fit, Fish Tank? I got you a dry fit, didn't I? Greatest Show on Surf shirt.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I think, but it's dry fit, right? I believe it is.
Yes,
so they do have
dry
dry
fit, and it was nice.
Yeah. So I just remembered now that she said it, and that's true too, guys. Everyone who's watching Fish Tank, tomorrow is Father's Day, so everyone who's a dad out there, Fish Tank especially, happy Father's Day to everybody watching right now. Yeah, I will be on tomorrow night, so you'll see me. But still, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Let's see here.
Not to the donors. I'm talking about the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day.
To the dads. To dads. Happy
to the
Father's
dads.
Day. That's what it is. To the dads. But hey, I'm not done. I got a busy weekend ahead. Of course, Fins Talk today, which I love doing fishing. I'm happy Fish Tank was on with me. It was. I was so nervous. I was like, man, I haven't done this by myself in a while. Fins Talk today, but we had a good time. But I missed Fish Tank, and I'm happy he's back for this week. But I'll tell you this: tonight I have. Well, actually, no. I think it's like 5:00. We got the WWE Clash at the Castle, which will start at 2:00 Eastern time, I believe, which is airing out of Scotland. Me and Josh Kimmel of No Holds Barred will do a post PLE reaction show at 5:00. So if you're into professional wrestling, you're into WWE, come join us. And we'll react and discuss all the matches on there. And then tomorrow we're going to be back again, No Holds Barred, 8:00 Eastern, reviewing episode 2 of Who Killed WCW. Was it Eric Bischoff? Was it Hulk Hogan? Was it Kevin Nash? Was it Vince Russo? Whatever. It's a great series. We're reviewing on the Vice series, Who Killed WCW, Fish Tank. WCW, I don't know if you remember, was the competitor of WWE for many, many years. And then they closed down. They beat WWE for many years, and then for 83 weeks. Then they lost, and then they burned. So they got a great series on Vice TV that we're reviewing. The last episode had over 700 plus views on Twitter, on YouTube alone. Twitter's and all the other ones are different beasts, but YouTube, it was very popular. So guys, if you loved WCW growing up and you want to watch, and you watch that series, or you just want to talk WCW, not only tonight, but join us tomorrow at 5, but join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern when me and Josh Kimmel review Who Killed WCW episode 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern here on the Finstock Sports Network. Fish Tank, again, happy Father's Day, my friend. It was so good hanging with you today. Any final words for today?
Bobby, yeah, you got me first, but happy Father's Day, Bobby. You're one of the best ones out there that I know. I've come in contact with a lot of people throughout the Coast Guard and the Navy and all those places I've been, and you're one of the great fathers that are out there. I've been fortunate enough to watch and see some things from behind the scenes that other people don't see you doing. And I want to wish you and your family a very happy Father's Day, because I know they love you very much.
Thanks, man. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Those are very nice words. I appreciate that.
Sir.
Thank you.
You're that kind of man, Bobby, and these people need to know that. You're a good guy. You're one of those rare finds, and that's why I wanted to do shows with you.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you. You know that. I appreciate you.
Got it. And happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you, my friend. All right, guys. Well, happy Father's Day to everyone on watching. We appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys later this afternoon and tomorrow. And Fish Tank and I will be back next Saturday with another edition of Fins Talk Today. Until then, like, subscribe, and most importantly, fins up.
Fins up.